Hey guys, Lothens here, back at you with another Atlas Reactor guide video. This one directed more towards brand new players to the game since we have such an influx lately, which is amazing. Keep coming and keep playing, guys. We love it. But one of the questions that I hear a lot when I'm streaming is, they'll say something like, my teammates keep telling me, getting cover, getting cover. What is cover? Why is it so important? Why do I need to be there? Well, this video covers exactly that. Now you'll notice a couple of things here. I've got on the red side a lonely little Lockwood over here. He's all by himself. His teammates are off in the corner. We can't see them. But basically what's going on is he's standing here in this corner area of the middle of the map. We're on Cloudspire, by the way. And what's happening is he's by himself staring at 4 enemy freelancers. We got Zuki, we've got another Lockwood, we've got Phaedra, and we have Nyx. All very, very scary damage dealers. Phaedra, one of the highest damage dealing frontliners in the game, and of course 3 firepowers backing her up. That's going to hurt. Or is it? We're going to start off with what exactly is cover. And we're going to cut away for just a minute, and we're going to take a look at a top-down representation of the map that we're playing on, Cloudspire. And you can kind of recognize maybe what's going on here. So Lockwood, the red Lockwood, was standing right there, just to give you a perspective of what was going on in the game. Now I want to demonstrate on this map how you can see what is cover and what is not, and what is hard and soft cover as well. The yellow outlines here are soft cover. They're the half cover spots that I mentioned earlier. They're the places you can stand where you're going to take reduced damage from that direction. This place as well, this place as well, and these two over here. So, oh, forgot one. That one there too. Now one thing we can look at here as well is the hard cover. The hard cover, which means it is a full-on wall that you can't see around, you can't shoot through, unless of course you're like the Lockwood or the Phaedra. This right here, this here, this little line here, that and that and that. And of course on the other side the same thing applies. This one here, these 3 spots here, and that. So these are all the hardcover spots where you could stand behind. For example, if I were this Lockwood, I would probably want to stand over here. Or maybe, I don't know, let's take a look here. Where should he be standing? I guess is what we're going to say. I think most likely he should probably be standing right here, or hell, even over here, or back here on this wall. Any of these places is going to give him a really good shot. He could shoot this way, or of course anywhere around here. This one he's got a line on all of this. Same thing here, line on all of that. This guy, he can shoot pretty much this way and all around back here. So any of these spots can cover a great distance of area and still remain relatively safe. This is a little bit sketchy, a little bit forward, and a little bit out in the open for where Lockwood wants to be, but that's for the example in the video. So let's go ahead and get back to the custom game. Alright, so now that we're back in the custom game here, and the reason we're in a custom match instead of a real match is I wanted a controlled environment where I could show you exactly what I want to show you and not have to wait for it to happen during a live match. Now, we're in control of Nyx right now. Nyx, generally speaking, is a super long-range firepower freelancer. He is probably never going to be standing here in the middle of the map. If he is, you and your team should punish him for that. This is bad positioning. Even though he is cata-cornered to the enemy Lockwood there, there's a couple of things that can happen. One is he's open from this side here. He's open from this side here. So if anybody is over in this area, they could easily attack him. And he doesn't utilize his long range abilities. As you can see here, he could shoot to the enemy spawn from this point, and nobody's going to be there anymore. We're turn 3. At any rate, we're going to be trying to hit Lockwood with everything we can. Nyx, unfortunately, has a wall in the way. I like to describe cover in soft cover and hard cover. And a lot of people that used to play things like XCOM and XCOM 2 are going to recognize this as full cover and half cover. So just keep that lingo in mind. Full cover to me is hard cover, and half cover to me is soft cover. In relation to Lockwood, Nyx has some hard cover in the way. He actually cannot shoot Lockwood here. No matter what he does, he can't shoot Lockwood. What he can do is he can lay a trap down, whichever way he thinks that Lockwood might go, which is probably toward this might buff, I would say. But for now, we're just going to lock Nyx in.
Here in my sights.
Now we're in control of the friendly Lockwood character. Now he has 3 different things he could do here to try to damage this Lockwood. He can use his light him up ability, which is his AoE attack. Notice you see the little shield icon here with the number 15 in it. That is because this Lockwood, from this one's perspective, is behind soft cover. So he's going to take half damage. He can still be attacked this way, but it's not going to hurt as bad. He also has his primary attack, which is going to do a little bit more damage. And one of the things about Lockwood is he really doesn't care about cover, except in this case, he can't quite get that bounce just right. So he's out of position this turn. He's going to have to just use his primary attack and not get a bounce off. Maybe he can bounce off the middle wall here for 1 extra damage, but it is going to be through soft cover, so this Lockwood doesn't care too much. Go ahead and lock him in. Now we're looking at Phaedra. Phaedra here can do a couple of different things. The danger of Phaedra is she can dash right through this wall, pick up the might, and also damage this Lockwood. But we're not going to do that this time. We're going to queue up her primary attack, and we're just going to lock it in. You see, this 13 doesn't have the shield behind it because Phaedra's basic primary attack actually goes through walls. She doesn't care what cover you're behind, okay? She's going to do her damage no matter what. Now we have Zuki over here. She has a couple of things she can do here as well. Now Zuki is one of the more dangerous firepowers to play forward against, just like this Lockwood over here is doing, because she has a multitude of things she can do to punish you. One is she could primary attack you for cover damage, or she could shoot right beside you and hit you with her AoE attack. So as long as she has a wall to shoot at, she can get that AoE damage for full damage instead of the reduced cover damage. But for the purposes of this exercise, we're just going to shoot Lockwood straight on. Another thing that Zuki could do, she could use her sticky bombs and avoid the cover altogether. You could also throw a big one out, trying to predict where the Lockwood is going to go this next turn. But again, we're going to primary into the cover, and we're just going to see what happens. Now this Lockwood as well, he has queued up his light 'em up ability. So let's unpause and just see exactly what happens. Here's Phaedra, here's our Lockwood, here's our Zuki, and here's the Nyx. Couldn't do anything to him that turn. So we went from 120 damage down to 75. And that was taking 3 basic attacks with cover damage. Of course, Phaedra doesn't care, but she did reduce damage because she's so far away. Okay, guys, I've shuffled things around just a little bit here. And one of the things you'll notice is the Nyx is no longer invisible. He is not behind this hard cover anymore. He's out in the open. He only has this enemy Lockwood to deal with from his perspective, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And he does have a shot. So it's kind of okay, but again, if you're Nyx and you're standing in this square at the beginning of any turn, you're in the wrong spot. Now, from this Lockwood's perspective, he knows Phaedra ran over here. And he knows Lockwood went somewhere over here, but he doesn't know exactly where. We'll show you where they are here in just a second. But basically, he's going to want to attack the Nyx, because Nyx is free damage. Let's go ahead and do that. Bounce off the middle pillar here as well. We'll go ahead and lock him in. Now we're from the other team's perspective. The Lockwood is still there, still in the same position. We see our Lockwood is standing over here where Nyx used to be, and Nyx is standing where Lockwood used to be. So, from Nyx's perspective, he can do a couple of things. He can do his slow ability, which is called Vortex Round. Or he can do his primary attack, which does a little bit more damage. Or again, he could throw a trap out. Let's do the primary attack just to reiterate what cover does to help this Lockwood stay alive. We'll go ahead and lock him in.
Scoping it out.
This Lockwood, for example, doesn't have a clean, straight shot to the other one. As you can see here, he tries to shoot that way. Just going to bounce off that middle pillar all day long. However, he can shoot this way and get full damage off. He goes straight around that cover. Can also shoot back this way, bounce off the wall behind the other Lockwood, and hit him straight in the back. I think that's what we're going to do. So in this instance, even though this Lockwood, or I should say each Lockwood, is behind hard cover in relation to one another, this one can still get full damage off and attack this guy from behind, even while he's over here, completely invisible to this one's perspective, just because Nyx has line of sight, Zuki has line of sight, so he can see where he's at. Let's go ahead and lock that in.
Let's get paid.
Phaedra over here, she can do a couple of things again. She can dash through this wall and get full dash damage off, or she could simply attack through it. Like I was saying before, she doesn't care about hard or soft cover. Let's go ahead and do that and kind of demonstrate, because right now she's invisible from this Lockwood's perspective. He doesn't know exactly where she is. He has a good, accurate last known position, but he doesn't know that that's accurate like we do. He could try to get a bounce shot off this way, but it probably might not hit, or maybe this way. But generally speaking, Nyx is the best target here. Phaedra is, in fact, behind hard cover to this Lockwood, so she's relatively safe over here, and she can get a nice shot off. Let's go ahead and lock that in.
Freedom tastes good.
Now the Zuki, we're going to use her get around the cover AoE damage this time, and just shoot off to the side of the Lockwood. You notice, as we cross the threshold where he's behind the cover, the damage reduces again. But as we get away from that, and we get the full length of the attack ability, she's missing the cover completely and hitting him from the backside, just like this Lockwood's doing. So let's lock these in and see exactly what happens.
Bring it!
We're at 6 health right now.
Have my eyes closed.
13, 34, 17, and here is a dead Lockwood. So from 76 damage to dead, it was relatively easy to get those guys some damage off on him. Okay guys, so this Lockwood has respawned now, and he's chosen to go into a slightly different spot. It's only 1 square away from where he was last standing that whole time. So I want to show you exactly how big of a difference it is. Just him standing here instead of standing here where he used to be. And you can even mouse over this thing. I forgot about that. You can mouse over a square and you can see if there's going to be cover there or not. See, that's cover. And it shows you which direction the cover is going to. This is really reminiscent of XCOM and XCOM 2, to be honest. But from this Lockwood's perspective, he's in a little bit of trouble, but he might not realize that. So he's just going to stand here and try to do an AoE attack. Now, he understands that he can see Phaedra and he can see Nyx. He has a last known position on the enemy Lockwood, but isn't exactly sure because nobody had vision of this whole area over here last turn when he was respawning. So this Lockwood could be anywhere by now. And Zuki, of course, she disappeared off the map as well. So we're just going to do an AoE spray, trying to catch as many people as possible. And you can see here, if we do that again, Phaedra is getting hit for full damage. And Nyx is getting hit for soft cover damage, only 15. That's because in relation to the Lockwood that's shooting him, AoE attack, he's behind cover. So it's a good spot to be in. Go ahead and lock that in.
Making money.
Now we can see where everybody is from the other side. And we've got Nyx here. He's got a clean, clear shot on the Lockwood this time. No cover in the way, no walls in the way. That's going to be happy times for him all day long. And the beauty of this is, Nyx, again, is in a cover spot in relation to the Lockwood. The Lockwood is not in a cover spot in relation to Nyx. So Nyx is going to be able to deal double the damage to the Lockwood that he can put back onto him. This Lockwood, for example, can do much the same thing as he did before, except not from this spot. So he may be a little out of position. Let's try to do it this way. Oh, there it is. There's a nice bounce shot. So still, trying to shoot straight on through this wall isn't going to work. But Lockwood's one of those characters that can get around cover and stay extremely safe while he does it. This is not an extremely safe position, by the way. But that's what we'll call it. Let's lock that in. And now we have Phaedra's turn. Since she is right next to this Lockwood, it wouldn't matter if there was soft cover right next to him, in between Phaedra and himself. We'll demonstrate that here in just a minute. But if you're directly adjacent to someone, soft cover doesn't matter at all. Let's go ahead and lock that damage in.
Starved for so long.
Now Zuki over here, she ran over into this spot. She's out of vision of Lockwood. Even though this camo node hatch has been triggered, I'm not exactly sure why, because she just ran in there and didn't do anything else last turn. But anyway, maybe a little bit of a bug for the devs to look at. However, she has a clean shot right now, and it's doing 32 damage straight to Lockwood's face. We're going to go ahead and lock that in. And let's see how much damage this Lockwood takes this turn as opposed to the last time they had 4 shots on him. Now remember, we went from 120 damage down to 75, and we got the 1 freebie health after that turn transitioned into the next. We had 76 health the next turn. Let's see what happens this time.
Let's party!
We see the light him up. It hits 3 people. Nyx, again, takes reduced damage. There's 26 from Phaedra, 34 from Nyx. There's 34 from the Lockwood, and 32 from the Zuki. That's a 100 to 0 dead Lockwood. That's the power of cover, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at something like I mentioned before.
Too easy.
And it's going to take a couple turns to respawn this guy. Basically, we're going to bring Phaedra up right next to him and demonstrate how cover doesn't really matter right next to somebody. As you can see, Lockwood and Phaedra are standing right next to one another, but Lockwood is hunkered down in this little corner area here. It shows that he has cover in the direction of Phaedra. However, like I said before, when you're directly adjacent to somebody, shooting them is just, I mean, that's all you got to do. Now this Lockwood, if this were to give the cover bonus, he could just get around it by bouncing off the wall here. We'll do that. We'll go ahead and lock it in. Nyx,
Shoot him up.
he's going to go ahead and shoot again, I guess, just because he can. It's going to be reduced damage, 17 that it said, so that's half of what he should be doing this turn.
Vaporize him.
This Lockwood no longer has a shot. Or does he? No, he does not. He has no shot anymore. So he is out of options. He's out of position. Can't help his team kill the Lockwood this turn. So he's just going to stand there and cry.
Ready.
Now, as far as Phaedra goes, we're going to demonstrate this. She doesn't really care about cover anyway, but this applies to any freelancer. If you're standing right next to somebody, you're going to do full damage to them if you hit them with an attack. Zuki, of course, she's a little bit out of position too this turn. She can't hit that far away, so she's just going to stand here and cry.
Yeah, target
Let's
rich
see what happens.
environment.
There's the bounce shot. That would have gone around the cover should it count.
Pretty corpse.
There's the full damage from Fader and the reduced damage from Nyx. Zuki shoots pointlessly into the Lockwood. So hopefully, guys, that kind of helps you understand how important it is to get into cover and where those places are. So once again, thank you so much for spending your valuable free time watching this video I put together. If you liked it, leave a like, share it with your friends. If you didn't like it, leave a comment below. Tell me what you didn't like about it so that I can improve. And I very much appreciate it. We'll see you next time.